everyone, I'm Allie with the Potomac Bead Company, and I'm going to show you today how to use some of our spikes to make some earrings. You can do this with anything that's top drilled, but I'm going to be doing another video on making a necklace using the spikes as well. So these are kind of nice earrings to go along with that. It has a little drop. I've been seeing the spikes a lot in a lot of different costume design. When you're looking at TV shows, a lot of necklaces and earrings are made out of these spikes. So I thought I'd just do a simple little tutorial showing you how to do the spiked earrings. For them, you're going to need spikes. We sell our spikes that they're either in 5 by 8 millimeters or 7 by 17. So these earrings here are the 7 by 17. I'm also going to show how to make them in the little ones in the 5 by 8 millimeters. I have 24 gauge Bead-A-Lon wire, and it's the Art Wire brand when you're looking at Art Wire. So it's the Art Wire brand of 24 gauge wire. And I have 2 ear wires as well. I'm also going to decorate it above with some little beads, and these are the luster beads, 4 millimeter round in Czech glass. So in addition to my beads and my closures, my findings, my ear wires, I'm going to need some pliers. The pliers you're going to need are round nose pliers. The round nose pliers have 2 jaws that the round part gets bigger as it gets closer to your hand. That we're going to use when we make our little eye pins here at the ends to connect to our ear wires. In addition to that, we have wire cutters. You always want to make sure to cut with your flat side towards your project rather than the V side, which is going to be a little bit further away from your project. So flat side facing down. And then we have a pair of needle nose or flat nose pliers. You want to make sure that your pliers are nice and flat on the inside so it's not going to mark up your wire. So to get started, I have 2 pieces of my 24 gauge wire, and these are both about 3.5 to 4 inches long. The bigger you make them, the longer you make them, the more wire you're going to need, as well as the bigger dagger or the bigger spikes. There's going to be more wire hiding inside of them rather than the 8 millimeter ones. You're only going to get 8 millimeters between. Here you're going to get, or 5 millimeters versus the 7. So you want to keep that in mind. The bigger that you're doing or the longer that you want them to be, you may want more wire. I'm not even going to use all of this wire. It's a great way to use up scrap wire as well, and you don't need to pay for head pins. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take them through the bottom of my spike, and I'm going to leave myself about ½ inch on the one side of the spike and the 3 inches on the other side. I'm going to make a bend, and I'm going to bend those wires, crossing them right on the top of the spike. So when you look at the spike, you're going to have the wire crossed right at the top. You want that wire to be crossed in the middle too of the spike. I'm going to grab my needle nose pliers, and I'm going to bend the longer piece of wire up so that it has about a 45-degree angle, and then it's coming straight out the top. If I would draw a line from the bottom point of my spike to my wire, it's going to go straight through the top of the wire. I'm actually going to grab with my round nose pliers, which I don't usually recommend doing, but in tight spaces and when you're working things that you have to wrap like this, it works well because it doesn't take up a lot of space. I'm going to hold the wire and have it hold right below where the wire crosses over itself here at the base of this spike. I'm going to then twist my short piece of wire around my long piece. It's up to you how many times you can do this. I'm going to do twice. 1 time's not going to hold the shape. 2 times definitely will. Anything other than that is just for artistic purposes. And then I have my wire here that I've trimmed down, and I'm just going to use my needle nose pliers to pinch it down a tiny bit so that little spiky end is not sticking up. After that, I'm going to add my beads, and you can add whatever beads you want on top of it. And I'm going to add my green luster and my blue luster. I'm kind of push those down next to my spike here. With the spike, what you want to do also is kind of bend in the sides a little bit, and I can use my fingers because the wire is so flimsy, and what that's going to do is that's going to hold the spike down because it has a tendency, the heavier side is actually at the top of the spike, so what you want to do is keep it down. You can do a little pinch there. At the top then of my beads, I'm going to grab my round nose pliers, turn my wire after my beads 90 degrees to the side with my round nose pliers. I'm going to go over the top of the first jaw of the round nose pliers. I'm going to switch from the top jaw to the bottom jaw, and then I'm going to take the additional wire to the back left and back to 90 degrees. That's going to give me a nice little loop there to connect my ear wires. I'm going to hold that loop that I just made, that eye pin, and I'm going to coil the thinner wire tail around 2 times to mimic the base. I'm going to give that a little cut, and there I have my little spike earring. I'm going to do the same thing again on the other side, so I'll just do a little review here. I'm going to put the spike on and the wire through about 1/2 inch to one side, the 3 inches on the other side. I'm going to bend the wire so that it sits right above the spike. With my flat nose pliers, I'm going to bend the longer piece of wire up so that it's coming straight out the top of my spike there. The shorter wire I'm going to wrap around the longer wire of my spike while holding with my round nose pliers, and I'm going to wrap that 2 times nice and tight. I'm going to cut off that extra wire then so that it looks identical to the other one. Pinch down the little end of the tail with my needle nose pliers. I'm going to add my 2 luster beads, my green and my blue. After I add those, I'm going to go back to the start of my bracelet or my earring here and just kind of give a little pinch right after my spike so that way my spike stays facing down. And then I'm going to get ready to do my eye pin on this side. So what I'm going to do is hold the round nose pliers right after the bead, turn the round nose pliers 90 degrees to the side. The wire goes over the top of the round nose pliers till it hits the beads on the other side. I switch from the top jaw of the round nose to the bottom jaw, or what you can do is just rotate your pliers. I'm going to take the wire back to 90 degrees, hold that eye pin, not where the wire crosses over, just at the head of the eye pin, and I'm going to coil 2 times down here to mimic the 2 times that I coiled at the base. Take my wire cutters and cut off that extra wire. If you need to, you have a little end here. You can also use your needle nose pliers. If when you're making that eye pin it gets thrown off a little bit to the left or right, you can put it back into where it stops on the round nose and just straighten it out a little bit. And do that with both of them. And then last, all I'm going to do is attach them to my ear wires. Whenever I'm attaching to ear wires, I'm going to want to open them to the side so that way I don't mess up the loop. I'm just going to take my needle nose pliers. I'm going to turn slightly to the side, slide my ear wire in place, or my earring in place, and close back up that ear wire with one, and I'm going to do the same thing with the other. And close it up. And there you go. You have your simple little spike earrings. Again, very in style. I've seen them on a lot of the different TV shows wearing the spikes earrings and then the spike necklace that we're going to be working on. But it just takes a couple pliers, a couple minutes, and some scrap wire to make these nice spike earrings. It'll give you ideas for some other drops that you have as well, hopefully. And you can check out the rest of our YouTube videos for more ideas like these and some more complicated ones as well. If you don't get a chance to visit one of our locations, which you can find at potomacbeads.com, you can visit us online and shop for your materials there at thebeadco.com. Thanks a lot for watching, and have fun working with these spikes and working with some drops to make nice, fashionable, quick earrings.